Alright, everybody. Coming back with some more trailers. This time I'm moving away from the Marvel stuff and going into God of War Ragnarok trailer that I totally didn't realize was down yet. I need to see this. From what we have so far, what little I know is only from the last game, and that's that shit. Hang on, sorry. That because they killed Baldur, Fimbulvinter began, which is, I think it's supposed to last 3 years, and then there was a sort of final scene / vision that warned that Thor will be showing up after Fimbulvinter to avenge his sons and his brother. So that's the extent of what I know. And of course that they're obviously going to get into Ragnarok here. End of all, or at least not necessarily the end of the world, but fall of the gods more than end of the world. But a lot of bad shit's going to happen. Let's just get into this and see what's happening. Oh, hang on. Got to set this up so you can actually see. Hang on. Okay. Here we go. Actually recording. Yes, recording, and it is getting... Ooh. Looking fancy. So this is them... Ooh. Ooh, that music.
Time is running out. The prophecies say Fimbulwinter leads to Ragnarok. War is coming. My story doesn't end hiding in these woods. I should be out there, finding out who I am, who Loki is.
I will not allow you to pick a fight with gods.
I don't want to fight anyone. I just want answers.
Looks like Freya's got her spirit back, fight warrior spirit or whatever. So she
Maybe
can
that's
actually
what
fight.
Mother wanted.
You do not know what Mother wanted.
Well,
was he drawing or turning a page?
Anywhere.
Oh.
Odin's got tricks up his sleeve we haven't dared to consider.
What if there was someone who could help us?
You mean Tyr, the old god of war in these lands?
I mean, he is
dead.
around. He wasn't dead,
for
was
a
he?
dead man, Odin seemed pretty keen on seeing he wasn't found.
If he's out there, we gotta find him.
Come in. What in all yarns be the happen?
Okay, so he has gotten a little
We're
bigger.
trying to stop Ragnarok, to help people. And what if the only way to do that is war?
Excuse me.
War is not the only way.
Stop thinking like a father for a moment and start thinking like a general.
Oh.
You seem like a calm and reasonable person.
Thanos?
You're a calm and reasonable person.
Yeah, so, yeah, Thor is coming out back. But I swear, was that Josh Brolin? I gotta check that.
In moments of crisis, panic does nothing. Harness it.
Yeah, that's a centaur.
Let it serve you.
Tyr!
Okay, yeah, he is alive.
Are you coming with us?
Oh, holy shit! Guy is
You'll get
huge.
your answer soon enough. Well, some of them.
Give me a date. Give me a date.
PlayStation.
You don't have anything. You're useless to me. Okay, I think I'm gonna go watch that like 8 more times because there's way too much to see in one shot. I will be right back. So watched it a zillion more times because it's friggin' awesome and there's so much stuff in it. Where to start? I guess start with our boys, Kratos and Atreus. We've got Atreus, who for the most part seems relatively unchanged other than growing a bit, adding some yellow to his ensemble, although that could just be the type of armor he's wearing. I don't know, because they did have a yellow set of armor for him in the first game. So otherwise he's sort of curiously unchanged, other than getting taller. Now that could be intentional, or they could be pulling a little bit of trailer voodoo and not revealing actual. It's like he'll look actually different a little bit in the game itself. I don't know, but otherwise he's certainly grown, and it's sort of Fimbulwinter seems to be ending, because that seems to be the case, is that Thor will show up. So it's been at least 3 years, give or take. Kratos, on the other hand, it's interesting where Kratos' standpoint on this. I mean, it's fitting to his history that he doesn't want to go to war with the gods, because he knows where that ends, and the whole consequences to killing gods. If you go and kill them all, you're going to cause more devastation. And it's intriguing to hear him be the one saying that war is not the solution, and that there are other ways to handle this. But speaking honestly, with Thor coming after you for killing his sibling and children, you're kind of already at war with them. It's a little too late to fix it now peacefully, because Thor doesn't strike me as the kind of guy who just say, "Oh, I accept your apology and I'll just move on." No, he's gonna do the whole "I'm gonna kill you for killing my family," and that's not gonna end until one of them is dead. And of course, if you kill Thor, that's a major player, and then everybody comes after you. So it just feels very much like there isn't much choice in that regard. But it sounds like they're... So the main thing... I have a feeling that it's going to start very similar to the first game. Excuse me. Where you'll have them sort of hunting and training in the wilderness. Then Thor will show up at the house, blow it apart. They, having predicted his arrival, they will have an escape plan if they can't fight him off. In this case, they'll fend him off and escape, possibly. And that's maybe where Freya will come in, who is also after Kratos after murdering her son. And I suppose killing would be more accurate. It wouldn't really... I don't know. Would you call it murder? I guess. You could argue that it is. But otherwise, killing her son... I'm curious to know if it will be sort of two coming at you from different directions, or if it's more that Freya has sided with the Aesir to get revenge on Kratos. Because there was the whole thing about Freya that she was cursed to not harm anything, even in self-defense. So she can't actually hurt anyone. So option one is she found out she broke that curse on her own and is after Kratos on her own, and taking advantage of his fight with Thor. Or she's sided with the Aesir, her curse has been lifted, and she's helping Thor, in which case it would make more sense to be a challenge. Because, I mean, Kratos versus Thor, certainly a big fight, but I'd still bet on Kratos. But Kratos versus Thor and Freya, that's a bit much. So, understandable that they need a little help. But it looks like their primary objective is they're going to try and... They know that Fimbulwinter precedes Ragnarok and that it's coming, and they're going to try and prevent Ragnarok, or at least lessen the damage. I don't know. Try and prevent it by the sound of it to help people. Atreus has got the compassion to try and help others. Kratos prefers to be sort of left to his own devices. So it's interesting to see how that's going to play out. It looks like they're definitely... I'm going to guess that you're going to be going across different realms. I mean, obviously you're going to be doing that. But I'm curious which ones you're going to be at, because I'm guessing most of the winter stuff we saw with the dog sled. You know, we saw some notable places: the Lake of Nine, those two boats, which were two notable areas in the first game, are all frozen over. So I imagine that Midgar is largely a frozen wasteland after 3 years of winter, even if it is finally, you know, toning down. It's still relatively frozen and likely very largely barren for any non-hostile enemies or non-hostile NPCs. And so that town that we saw in this trailer, where Brock and Sindri have set up shop, I'm gonna guess that's a dwarf town in the dwarf realm. Which one was that? Because there were, what realms did we go to in the first game? We had Midgar, you had the Realm of Light, you had Realm of the Dead, Realm of Fire, Realm of Mist, and Giants. Obviously, those were the 6, and then you have Asgard, which is the Aesir home realm, Vanaheim, which is the Vanir god's realm, which is Freya's family, and then the last one was the dwarves. I think, and you couldn't get to those because they were locked off. Svartalheim, I think. Svartalheim is the dwarven realm, and I think that's where that village is, and that'll be like your sort of home base where you get all your upgrades and your equipment with Brock and Sindri. Because we haven't seen any of that. That was the one realm we haven't seen. We haven't seen any of Asgard, but I suppose that didn't look like Asgard, and it would be difficult to travel there and interact with Asgard without getting murdered by everybody that lives there, since Kratos is an enemy of Asgard. So I'd guess it's there. It could also be Vanaheim, but I'm not quite sure. We did see a little bit of Vanaheim in the first game through Freya's window, which showed you her realm. So I'm going to have to go and check that again and see if it's got any similarity to some of the area. But otherwise, I'm not sure where else you're going to go or how far into this. I'm not quite sure how far into the Ragnarok they're going to get. I mean, there's so much. But it also, finally, there is Tyr. They did say he was dead, but if I'm not mistaken, when you read the triptych, those wood panel sort of story things, the one for Tyr was busted because the one middle section had been pulled out and was key to figuring out how to travel to Jotunheim. But the last panel, which tends to show their fate, their ultimate fate, that showed him imprisoned and not killed. If I'm not mistaken, yeah, it showed him in chains. So I'm curious, I guess they just spread the rumor that he was dead. But obviously he isn't, and my God, is he huge. I mean, you gotta think about it this way. Kratos is like 7 or 8 feet tall, okay? He is tall, even for a tall person. And this guy is another head and shoulders like this much taller than him by that look. So he's got to be like 9 feet tall. It's insane. But it's also curious to see, why is he so tall compared to compared to the other Aesir. I mean, so far we've seen the only, I guess, then again, Magni was also, a head taller. So I suppose that's not uncommon. But I mean, you look at Baldur, he was pretty small. But he's also part Vanir god, so maybe pure blood Aesir are like much bigger. We'll have to see with Thor. Because, I mean, Magni was big. I assume Thor is going to be pretty big. So, as also, I was that Josh Brolin? Am I like just kidding myself that was Josh Brolin monologuing? Possibly as... I'm not sure who that voice was supposed to be, whether it was supposed to be Thor or Tyr, but I'm going to go Thor for first guess. That would be a nice twist and a kind of a nod. I mean, they had the whole Infinity Gauntlet Easter egg in the first one. Wouldn't be too bad if they like pulled in Josh Brolin for a voice, because that just reminded me very much of Thanos. Am I the only one who saw that? Is it just me? Crazy? By all means, tell me in the comments. But otherwise, can't wait for this. Wasn't paying attention if there was a date, which is bizarre. I was just so caught up in everything else when I watched these. Gonna have to double check the date. I can't remember right now. But I also... Otherwise, yeah, it's just like so many things to see. So much to do. It looks like the primary story is going to be looking for ways to stop Ragnarok and getting help from Tyr as the only known good guy. Maybe from the Vanir as well. Because they are... Vanir are against the Aesir, and Kratos kind of needs help. So we'll see. But he's also pissed off Freya, so we'll see how that goes. Anyway, thanks for watching. Thumbs up if you liked it. Comment below. And I'll see you in the next one. All right? Bye.